Follow these tips when applying for teaching jobs. Number 1, make sure you're the first one to apply. You want to be the first one to apply to those jobs as soon as it opens because schools and districts will know that you are very interested and committed. You don't want to wait till the last minute and see those jobs fill up because then it's going to just stress you out. So make sure you are the first one to be applying. Tip number 2, do your research on the district's core beliefs and vision statements and the goals they have because you want to tie those during your interview answers and the papers you're going to be submitting, such as your cover letter and your resumes. It's important that you do your research so that you are familiar with the district. Tip number 3, when you have your interviews, make sure you guys are listening attentively and keeping a smile so that it shows your interest for that district. When answering these questions, don't make things up. Honesty is the best policy. You don't want to make things up and then having them realize that it doesn't align with your cover letters, resumes, or even the letter of references that your references wrote for you. So make sure you answer honestly. And when you have an in-person interview, make sure you arrive at least 10-15 minutes before. If it's online, make sure your camera and your microphone works because you don't want to take their time away. And adding on to the interview portion, don't hesitate to have them restate the questions because sometimes you don't want to answer something that you didn't hear properly or you don't understand. So don't be afraid to ask them to repeat themselves because they are totally fine with that. Tip number 4, when you have your demo lesson, arrive at least 10-15 minutes early so that you don't feel rushed, and it's a good look on you when you arrive earlier. When you are building your lesson plan, make sure that you contact the teacher you're going to be taking over for that little segment. Get some insight on the students and the lesson or unit they are on so that you can build your lesson plan around that. It doesn't have to be a well-written one. As long as you have one, that is okay. And when you have your demo lesson, make sure that you are delivering your instruction the way you do when you're student teaching. It doesn't have to be perfect or made up. Just teach the way you do. And they care more about how you interact with the students as well. So make sure you are trying to get every student engaged as much as possible, even though it might be hard. Just try your best for that. And then thank the class, thank the teachers. Give a follow-up email once you're done to the administrators because they are taking their time to watch you teach. So it is important to give those follow-up emails. And my final tip is when you're taking your certification exams, make sure you study for those because those sometimes are really tricky. When you are graduating your senior, it's best that you take it during your junior summer so that you have enough time to apply for. If you're getting your master's, then make sure you take it during your senior summer. And it's important that you get that out of the way because you don't want to wait until the last minute. And then when you're applying, they might ask you if you have your certification exams already done or completed. And if you're not, that's not a good look on you. So make sure you complete those and study really hard for those because it costs a lot of money. And yeah, those are some of my tips for you guys when applying for teaching jobs. You guys are coming into an occupation where it is very important for the future generation. So give yourself a pat on the back because teaching is not an easy job as people think. There's going to be a lot of job opportunities. So make sure when you get those job offers, you guys are making the right decision because if you end up in a district that you don't like, you're going to regret it a lot and you don't want your first year teaching experience to be bad. You want to make sure you pick those decisions carefully and get the right school that you want to teach for. There are going to be times where you get declined from a district or your cohorts getting a job before you, but don't stress out because you're going to get a job eventually. So just trust the process.